Hello, this is Michael D. Friedman with CinemATL, and this is 4 Good Things About 3 Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri. Number 1 is the cast. Frances McDormand steals the show in this movie. She plays a tough-as-nails woman out to get justice for her daughter who was raped and murdered, and she's trying to get the police to actually do something, so she sets up 3 billboards to call them out, if you will, and she puts on a powerful performance. There's a lot of other great characters in this film portrayed by actors such as Woody Harrelson and Sam Rockwell, Peter Dinklage, John Hawkes. They all are really good actors, and they provide great performances for the film. And number 2, I would say, is the characters they play. They're flawed. This makes them very, interesting characters. By having so many flaws, that makes them more believable, more well-rounded characters, and you really get to appreciate them for that. Number 3 is the unpredictability of this film. There's a lot of times you think you might know where the story's going, but they take you in an entirely different direction, and that's something to really appreciate in storytelling, that you can't just connect the dots, and it really zigs one way when you think it's going to zag a different way, and it makes for a surprising movie. Number 4 is the concept of the film itself. I was really intrigued by this idea of a woman who would put up these billboards calling out the police and how this would affect the town. It's a really interesting concept. Sometimes, though, I don't think it fulfills its true potential. I think there's a lot that could have been done, putting the town against each other on one side or on the other side, but it never really fully reaches that potential. So overall, this is a really hard film for me to actually give a grade to. It's a well-done film. There's lots of good elements to it, but overall, I just didn't really appreciate the film. I didn't enjoy it. When I mentioned flawed characters, a lot of them are flawed to the point where you just don't like them. There's a lot of things that happen in the plot that are a little contrived. People get away with things that they probably shouldn't have. There's a lot of coincidence in the movie, so it doesn't really feel natural. And then the other thing is there's a tone problem with this movie. There's a lot of dark comedy in it. There's a lot of funny things in it. It's got some really funny moments, but it's also really dramatic as well. And the tone just seems to go back and forth between the two, and you don't really get a feel for the movie as a whole. And it might have something to do with the way it was marketed. The trailers, to me, made it look like it was this comedy, like a Coen Brothers style comedy, but it's really a lot more dramatic than that. And so that makes the comedy seem kind of hard to laugh at when, even though it's funny, there's still a lot of seriousness in it. And, the nature of the film is that she's dealing with her daughter who's been raped and murdered. It's kind of a dark subject matter, so it's hard to make light of that, even though there are really funny things in it. So overall, I'm going to have to give this film probably a grade of I'll give it a B-. Like I said, it's a good film. It's a well-done film. But it's not a film that I liked particularly. There's a lot of things that irritated me about it, and I didn't overall come out of the theater saying, I want to see this movie again, or I want to recommend this movie. But, it's it's hard to give it a grade. Let's get it that way. Anyway, that's it this time on 4 Good Things. Please check us out on CinemATL.com for more film and entertainment news about the Atlanta film scene. And we'll see you next time on 4 Good Things.